Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing. This is another edition of what's going on in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we've got a lot going on here, unfortunately. If you do hear some noise in the background, this is Sunday, the 19th of April, and they've got the air show going just a little bit out here. It was a beautiful morning this morning with the sun out, clear skies, and then it's clouded over, so I don't know if the Blue Angels will be able to perform very well or not. And I'm right in one of the flight paths. So if you hear the noise, it's your Navy taking care of you folks, essentially. And I'm glad that they do the air shows so they can get pique some interest. And I'm used to jet engines, actually old V12 Rolls-Royce engines from my childhood with the P-51 group down in Albany, Georgia, and my dad was a fighter pilot for over 30 years. So jets and round engines and V12 Rolls-Royce engines and Allisons and so forth are nothing new to me. All right, as far as we've got going here in Corpus this week, there was a letter to the editor that came out yesterday, and I ran into this gentleman again yesterday. He's the PAC-10 Public Access Group president for the channel that this goes on, Public Access 10. And this guy's name is Jack Gordy. Now, Mr. Gordy was president of the association that I'm now president of, and that's the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association. Now, I would appreciate it if you would tune in on your computers and so forth, the internet, to cctaxpayers.org and keep up with what's going on with our Taxpayers Association. And we're swamped with items these days that have got taxpayers in an uproar, so to speak. These city fathers and so forth never seem to give up trying to squeeze some more nickels out of all of us, and especially when we're down to only having pennies left. And nothing seems to get done. But here's what Mr. Gordy was up to. He had heard that we, the city of Corpus Christi, through our city council, city manager and so forth, hire a bunch of attorneys from outside of Corpus Christi, Texas for legal fees and for legal items and so forth. And he asked for the billings for some of those and see how many dollars went from Corpus Christi, Texas, the city of, to these outside attorneys, and it was a staggering figure. So let me go ahead and read this for you. He finally, Mr. Gordy, finally got the city to answer. Now, the city does not, is very reluctant in letting taxpayers know where the money goes. Okay? We've got the same problem at Del Mar College, which I'll address in just a few minutes. Okay? But here's what Mr. Gordy wrote. This was in reference to what he found out from the city, finally. He had to go down there. It's like pulling teeth to get information out of this city, folks. And that is your money. That's not their money. Okay? And you hire people, and I mean you vote people in, and they hire people to take care of your money, you hope. But I think that this city's been an abysmal failure for a lot of years. It's just my personal view. I've been here for 25 years, and it's getting worse and worse every day. But here's what Mr. Gordy wrote. He said, fees for attorneys outside of the city. And this was yesterday on Saturday, April the 18th, is when this came out in the Corpus Christi Caller-Times. I received an answer to my recent request for public information. I asked how much the city paid to attorneys and lawyers who do not live in Corpus Christi. The period that I asked for was from January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014. The amount was $3,544,070.96. Okay? So, I don't know what to tell you, and then I think it was right in that range somewhere. I've heard that it may have been a little bit more than that. Okay, this is for a 12-month period. This money did not stay in Corpus Christi. You would think the city would try to keep their business local. The city council needs to look into why the city manager and city attorney do not hire attorneys that live in Corpus Christi. Okay? Most people believe the city should respect the attorneys and lawyers who live in Corpus Christi, since they are taxpayers in the city of Corpus Christi. No one can convince me or anyone else that we don't have attorneys in Corpus Christi who could handle most of the cases that we are hiring out of the city. Okay? So that was from Mr. Gordy yesterday. Now, I quizzed him a little bit closer, and I've looked at some of the paperwork that he finally wrangled away from the city. But here's one firm in particular. Okay? Now, it's the law firm of Lloyd Gosselink, Gosselink. They're out of they're out of Austin, Texas. Okay? I've got a map up here, and I've Googled them up to see where they were located. And they're on Congress Avenue, 816 Congress. That's closest to the Capitol across the lake there. And it's Suite 1900. And then I've got the full address. So what I'm going to do is I have with Del Mar College, and that's I'm going to write and ask for the billing records on that $2,515,778.27 that they were provided with. Okay, so out of the 3,500,000 something, 2.5 million roughly went to this one firm out of Austin, and this is just in a 1-year period. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I pulled it up. I got the guy's name that was doing the work for the city of Corpus Christi, and his name was Thomas Brocato. I think that's the way he pronounces it. Okay, so I pulled the firm up, and I looked up his links there, and it's Thomas L. Brocato. It says principal. It says since 2004, Thomas has solved problems for Lloyd Gosselink clients through his more than 23 years of experience in representing clients before regulatory agencies, the courts, and the legislature. In addition to his focus on utility administrative law, his experience in electric aggregation development, rate proceedings, transmission line licensing, applications, and appellate litigation make Thomas a valuable resource for clients with gas and electric utility issues. Now, I'm going to try to figure out where the $2.5 million was spent, folks, and for what. I think that you as taxpayers, and I know that I do as a taxpayer, are privy and should be privy to that information. I would think. So I'm going to go ahead and pursue that for you, and I'm going to go ahead and put a report, and I'll start putting these on the cctaxpayers.org, okay? And you can look it up online. You're also very, very you can email me anytime, okay? My personal email is gsansing, Gsansing @gmail.com. That's fairly easy to remember. And you know, you're quite willing, or whatever, I'm willing to answer any of your emails that I get concerning Taxpayers Association or any of the stuff I talk about online on the air here. Okay, so don't hesitate, and you're quite welcome to let me know what's going on in your world and see if we can help you out a little bit. Okay. Now another thing that I've been up to is I am extremely concerned about the accounting irregularities that have been uncovered at Del Mar College. Now I find it very interesting at times that if someone falls out of favor and starts uncovering some inequities and so forth at Del Mar College, then they're either locked out of their office for good. And then the common thread through Del Mar College right now, speaking of attorneys, is that if you don't like what we're going to do to you, mistreat you, slander you in certain cases, not take up for you under the laws and so forth and so on, and just generally mistreat you as an employee at Del Mar College, then if you don't like that, then sue us, because we've got lots of taxpayers' money over here, and we can pay some out-of-town hotshot attorneys also. Now, since I'm on a roll with that, let me just go ahead and I'll jump back to where I was going to go just a few minutes ago, and go ahead and talk about the Del Mar College. Now, it is extremely difficult to get any information from Del Mar College. Now, the way I do it is I write requests for information through the Texas Public Information Act. Okay? And it boils down to the Government Code 552. Now, I've asked for stuff before. I've been delayed. I've been told that I can't do it. I've been had letters written to the Attorney General's office saying that it's client privilege attorney and or attorney-client privilege, and it's just a mess. Now, another misconception that it goes on at Del Mar College, and I'm going to point this out. And I want to let you know that there's some things happening over there that have made me feel, I'm not fearful, folks. I just have a premonition that maybe my door is going to be locked next. Okay, like my buddy Dr. Bruce Olson a while back. Now, here's what happens over there. They hire out of town attorneys. They do have two groups here in town. One of them does very minor amount of work, only when the guys out of Austin want him to, and I think that firm is Hoblet something and something. And then we have Augustin Rivera, that's the Dunn Casparitas and Rivera and whoever else, okay? And Mr. Augustin Rivera is the board attorney. Then we have a president here who went to school with a gal who's now an attorney. She's out of San Antonio, Miss Cynthia Cano, and I have not been impressed with her capabilities. When I went through a dismissal hearing with a very good friend of mine, and that was a kangaroo court and a railroad job, and I can't tell you how despicable I thought that whole affair was. But that's the way people are treated at Del Mar College, okay? And I have a feeling I'm next, or in line. I mean, I'm not a paranoid person, and I'm not a fearful person, okay? So, but I do know that if you try to do the right thing and you try to get the employees taken care of in a professional manner at Del Mar College, it is likely not going to happen. And the captain of that ship over there needs to realize that the buck stops on his desk, if you get my drift over there, president of Del Mar College. Now, I have asked for billings from the attorneys because I am very curious about these accounting irregularities that are going on. Okay, so I have asked for certain information over there. Okay, and it was based and predicated on the billings from the attorneys over there. Okay, now here's one that I won't get into this one. Okay, but here I've asked for some information, and I know that my pal Mr. Bennett has done that, and he's been I guess ignored, and people try to pull all these tricks to try to not provide him with the information in a timely manner. And he got a scathing letter back, or a copy of a scathing letter back from the Attorney General's office to Del Mar College saying we need to shape this thing up, essentially. Okay, I'm paraphrasing that. Now, I've written for the billings, okay, for a certain attorney over there. I did this on April 6th. That hadn't been that long ago. I have got a response, and it was almost in a timely manner. Okay, if I can get these pages apart, I can read it for you. Okay, Now what I'm doing here is I want to know about the billings from October 1st of last year, 2014, to the date of this request, which was March the 23rd. Okay? That's when I requested it. I got a response back from Delmar on April the 6th. So what they do is they take the full, quote, 10 working days to do this. That's not exactly what the law reads. The Texas Public Information Act request says that they can take that long before they have to respond. Either, tell us what they've got them, tell us they're not going to have them, or file for an opinion from the Attorney General. Now, if the information is readily available, like in a file drawer, then my reading of the law, being a non-attorney, it says that you go over to the file drawer and you open it up and you provide that to the requester right there on the spot. But that doesn't happen at Delmar College. We want to drag this stuff out, and we've got people over there involved in the human relations, human resources and so forth over there that says that that's not true. See, they're accountants over there in the Human Resources Department. They're attorneys and everything else over there. They're the keeper of all things knowledgeable in this world, and they don't mind telling you that. Okay. So anyway, I asked for this for Mr. Augustin Rivera. Okay. And it says, this was a new twist. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of problems except some delays in the past getting these billing records. And the billing records I'm after, folks, is if somebody contacts the attorney or the attorney contacts someone at Delmar College that's in charge of something, and they have, let's say, a 1-hour conversation on the phone, that attorney's going to bill those people for that 1 hour. There's a flat rate for that. And they've got it down to the 10th of the hour. Okay, so if you make a 2-minute call over there, that's a 10th of an hour, that's 6 minutes. Okay, and they bill you for that. And then they have to state, according to the laws, I think, they've quit this out. They've made it so obscure you can't tell what's really going on. Then they'll say, well, what we're going to do is we just spent 1 hour on reviewing the Public Information Act request from Sansing. Okay, so many dollars on this date, and so forth and so on. So it tells you an awful lot about what the college is spending, and these people are spending on your money for public information. Okay, and it also tells me what people are after and what kind of shenanigans are going on over there, who's filed a lawsuit, and so forth and so on. Okay, yeah, that should be public information. But it says here, this was my request for Mr. Rivera's stuff. The information you requested contains a credit card, debit card, charge card, or access device number that is collected, assembled, or maintained by or for a governmental body. This information is confidential under Section 552.137 of the Texas Government Code. Our office is prohibited by law from releasing this information to you, and therefore we have removed, and then in parentheses, redacted, that means they black it out, this information from the enclosed information we are providing to you for review. Now that really doesn't bother me all that much. I don't want people's credit card number, social security number, birth dates, and everything else under the sun. I just want to know what in the world we're spending all this money for, and it's tens of thousands of dollars a month for legal fees. Okay, I get the same response to the one that I asked for. Let's see which one this was. I don't know why these pages are stuck together. Okay, this one was for Cynthia Cano. Okay, now Cynthia Cano is an attorney. She went to school with our president, Dr. Mark Escamilla, I understand, in the past. So she's hired out of San Antonio to come down here and do certain things for the college. She's the college's attorney, so to speak, okay, or one of them. So she comes down here and she does this, that, and the other, and she's got her nose in an awful lot of things down here. But I wanted to make sure that I got her records to see what's going on at Del Mar College, because they're not going to tell you if you go over there and ask. You have to kind of force it out. And it was the same thing. The information you requested contains credit card, debit card, and so forth and so on. People, I don't care about that. I just want to see you can redact anything you want except stuff that I am legally bound and legally entitled to. And I have the feeling at times that that's not true. Okay? And then I had one, let's see, I think this may have been the one out of San Antonio, the real expensive guys and gals up there. Yes, Graves, Daughtry, Heron, and Moody. They're on Congress Avenue, right up there next to the one that we talked about for the city, the $2.5 million in 1 year place up there. But it says, you know, I've asked for certain things, billing records, invoices presented to Del Mar College. Now, if somebody bills Del Mar College, then I want to know what it's all about. Now, on this one, it says that in response to your Public Information Act request, the college is seeking an Attorney General opinion for some of the responsive documents. On behalf of Del Mar College, and under separate cover, you will be receiving a copy of a letter concerning the request for an AG opinion from the law firm of Graves, Daughtry, Heron, and Moody. Okay? Then I'll go ahead and read you that. And then there is, I guess, some information over there for me. I'll have to go over and find out what it is. Okay? So I get this shipped to me, certified return receipt. But here's a letter from Graves, Daughtry. And let's see, it was April 6th. It was the same time that Del Mar sent their stuff out. And this is a letter from Graves, Daughtry to the Attorney General's office, okay? And it's to the Honorable Ken Paxton. He's now the Attorney General of the state of Texas. Dear General Paxton, on behalf of the Del Mar College District, we hereby request a ruling regarding the request for public information attached to this letter. And they attached a copy of mine. Okay? The college asserts that the requested information is accepted from disclosure under the Texas Public Information Act, Chapter 552 of the Texas Government Code. Specifically, the college invokes Section 552.101 of the Act in conjunction with the attorney-client privilege found in Texas so-and-so and so-and-so, okay, certain legal matters. The college received the request on March 23rd. Within 15 days from that date, we will submit a representative sample of the information sought to be withheld and an explanation of how the asserted exceptions apply. By a copy of this letter, we are notifying the requester that we are seeking a ruling from your office. Okay? So what we have is we have certain things that are in negotiations with the college. I guess that these people, Graves, Daughtry, and so forth, are mediating. And I don't know what it's all about, but I think that the taxpayers ought to know about what shenanigans are going on over there at Del Mar College. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So I don't know if I'll ever get that or not. I do know that I was sent another piece of literature that had some redacted information in it and so forth and so on. And that has a lot to do with a letter that I received from my department chair stating that he wanted to go ahead and put a disciplinary action letter in my personnel file because I was not answering emails. I had refused and I quit talking to him verbally, except I did put in there, as he misspoke in his allegations against me, that I would talk to him face to face any time, but I wanted a witness there. And I won't get into why I want a witness to anything I say or do in front of that man. Okay? Then I'm told when I ask for information to clear my good name and to clear me of the allegations that were charged against me by my department chair, then I asked for that information under Public Information Act request, and Graves Daughtry stepped in for more money. They're billing $4.50 an hour to do this stuff. Okay, And I was told that no, that's attorney-client privilege, and I can't have any of the information that my department chair based his tirade on against me. Now, I thought we had a constitution here, and my right to defend myself, and so forth and so on. And I could go through the 1st, 5th, 9th, 14th Amendments and go through that. I won't waste your time with that one, okay? But it really burns my fanny that I can't get that. And the attorneys, this Christian is his last name, with Graves Daughtry and so forth, he indicated that the suit or that problem was a quasi, when I appealed and tried to defend myself against that disciplinary action letter, then they told me that that was a quasi-judicial forum, and therefore it was attorney-client privilege, and I couldn't get it. So then now what I've done is I have sent a letter in and said, okay, if it's a judicial hearing, I want that stuff under discovery just as if it were going to court. Now I haven't heard back from them. I don't know what their time limit is, but I'm going to take a little trip up to the Attorney General's office and meet Mr. Paxton and a group up there with the Public Information Act group and get to the bottom of it. Then another thing that galls me as a taxpayer is we have on April 23rd, this is this coming Thursday, okay, it says Board of Regents retreat at the Town Club Crystal Room from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. Okay? And here's the agenda: the call to order, quorum call, moment of silence, pledge of allegiance, mission statement, introduction and welcome. Dr. Mark Escamilla is going to give that. And then the discussion item. Discussion related to the developing and planning process for the Southside campus. Okay? And that's goal number 1, student learning success, ensure exceptional education opportunities for all students. And goal 7, these are goals set by Delmar. Resources, ensure strong financial and operational capacity. Now folks, we're already at the top of the list for the student debt. The amount of debt that Delmar owes per student is probably one of the top out of any school in the state. Okay? And then here we go, you know, we want more millions to go build a Southside campus, saying that our enrollment is bursting at the seams, okay? And that the explosion in the growth in residents here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And then I read the newspaper and it says since the Eagle Ford Shale is going down the tubes, then people are leaving the area, and we've got a lot of people that are out of work now. So I don't know what, you know, I can't see both sides of this. But as a trained scientist, when I look at numbers like this, you know, the bells go off and the whistles blow. And I don't know what to tell you, except get prepared to be bled dry in the tax arena, folks. If the city doesn't get you, then Delmar will get you, or the county will get you, or the state will get you. So, you know, get ready, folks. And then I'll go into the city can't fix streets without our tax money, which was an editorial in the Caller Times here recently. So, Mr. Gordy, thanks for this. And then next time I'll also talk about the non-compliance with ADA rules, palm trees, and sidewalks out here on Staples. Okay? All right, take care. All right, Ed. That went quicker than I thought it would. I'm going to go ahead and give you a call here in a minute and get this thing over there and see if you want to tape anything. And we'll see what we got.